Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is AZ Media bringing you guys another video, and actually in this video I want to talk about some of the upgrades I made to my car over the past few months. We added a mid-pipe, we lowered it, and I'm absolutely loving the look of the car as it is right now. So let's get into the video. First, let's talk about the drop. So I actually had the opportunity to lower it on some CTS turbo lowering springs. So these are pre-release spring, but they're going to be very, very comparable to the H&R Super Sport. So you're looking at about a 1.4 inch drop in the front and about a 1 inch drop in the back. I also put on some, I think they're 13 millimeter Berger Motorsports spacer, but really the fitment, you know, right now I'm really happy with it. I'm amazed at the way the G80 looks when it's lowered. I think it looks even better lowered than it does in the stock form. Stock form, you had a little bit too much of a gap in my opinion, but I'm loving the way the car actually sits now. So regarding the drop, you know, many of you are wondering, how's the ride quality? How does it feel? So the ride quality is pretty much, you know, more or less the same. You do get a little bit more road noise, you get a little bit more road feel, and maybe it's a little bit stiffer, but to be honest, it's not all a bad thing when it comes down to, especially when you're driving an M3 or wanting more of a sporty feel with it. You know, usually I kind of use my wife as kind of that litmus test. I had her drive it around, drove it around with her. She really noticed, you know, maybe a little bit more road noise, but nothing that's, you know, a killer really from there. Nothing that's going to ruin the ride quality or ruin the car or anything like that. So very, very happy with the CTS springs, the way that they lowered. I'm having no rubbing issues whatsoever. The only thing that I will say, you know, is just ground clearance. But, you know, that's something that's really going to happen anytime you're lowering a car. One thing that I do suggest, if you do have a G80, and if you are going to do it, just be very careful because you do have an oil cooler that does sit right up front. So highly suggest either a Turner Motorsports is the one that I have, or Mishimoto makes another one, getting some type of skid plate on these cars just to protect that oil cooler. Move on to the actual mid-pipe. So I did go with a Mastery of Art and Design single mid-pipe. Part of the reason why I went with the single mid-pipe versus maybe an Active AutoWorks, going with the equal length or X-pipe or single, like there's a bunch of different options you can really go with. From what I've read and what I've heard from people, this single mid-pipe is actually going to give you pretty much the best sound from what I've heard in the lower RPM range. It's going to be a little bit quieter in the higher RPM range than you would get with like an X-pipe, for example, but there's not going to be a lot of rasp. So I know usually with the S55, S58 kind of platforms, you do have a little bit of that rasp. I'm going to be honest, I listened to the equal length mid-pipe. It sounded a little raspy, so I'm very happy with the single mid-pipe. It seems to be one of the most popular solutions for these cars and to get sound out of them. Now, I have seen a lot of mixed information online, especially when they're talking about performance. So, you know, you're going from a dual pipe down to a single mid, so a lot of people are saying, hey, you're going to lose performance because you're choking, you know, that exhaust system, or you're creating more back pressure. Power loss is going to be negligible. You're going to get the same amount of airflow, if not more, through a single mid-pipe than you would through the stock system. So if anybody's telling you you're going to lose some power there, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. The single mid-pipe is a great solution for these cars. It really wakes it up. And to be honest with you, I think it's the way that it really should sound, you know, from the factory. But that's just my opinion. You know, with that, because of that single mid-pipe, you are pulling out the secondary cats, you are pulling out two resonators as well, so you're going to get a little bit more sound. But the good thing is you do retain those original valves in the stock exhaust or on the muffler, so when you're putting it into any type of comfort mode, you still have those valves. For a cold start, you still have the valves, unless you put it into Sport Plus mode, and that's going to open up the valves from there. So very, very happy with the way that the single mid-pipe sounds. You know, when you get on it, you really hear it, but especially cruising around, there's any drone with the system, you're not going to have to worry about, you know, upsetting your passengers or having to listen to your exhaust the entire time. The system really wakes up when you open the valves and get into the higher RPM range. So, you know, what's next as we go down the journey of the G80 M3? So, well, I'm really excited to announce that on September 3rd, I will actually be going out to Beamer Invasion at the Irwindale Raceway. So if you guys are on the West Coast of the United States, I actually will be out there, and I'll actually be at a booth for a new clothing brand that me and another friend who has an F82 M4 are actually starting up. So this is going to be some of our t-shirts, which I'm actually wearing right now, which is E30 Legendary. But we're going to have a booth there. We're going to have some shirts. We're going to have some stickers. We're going to have flight tags, key tags, anything you can think of around this BMW kind of apparel brand. So feel free to stop by, say hi. I'm going to create an affiliate link, you know, really for my YouTube channel as well. So keep an eye on that. Next steps for the car over the next couple of months, I'm going to be looking at doing a couple of you know, modifications to the car. So I did order a high kick spoiler from RW Carbon, so that should be coming in the next few weeks. I am going to have a buddy in a shop do an install of the dine-in intake as well, and then maybe looking at doing the CS, you know, amber DRLs and maybe some GTS taillights. We'll see. You know, those are maybe for a little bit more down the road, but it might do before Beamer Invasion, depending on, you know, time frame. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up right here. I want to say thank you for stopping by, watching the video. Please, you know, subscribe if you aren't, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. It really helps out the channel. It helps me grow. But appreciate you all stopping by. Hope you have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next one.